We start at the Constitutional Court, where President Yoon Suk Yeol's third hearing took place this afternoon in his presence for the first time. For more on the impeachment trial, I have our Oh Soo-young standing by live on site. Soo-young, welcome. Let's begin with this unprecedented event of the president partaking in his own impeachment trial to defend himself.
Good afternoon, Sunny. Yes, for the first time in South Korean history, the nation's elected leader, the sitting leader, came to the Constitutional Court to defend himself against impeachment. Yoon arrived at the Constitutional Court at around 1:20 p.m. to attend Tuesday's hearing, which was the third session in his impeachment trial. And avoiding the public eye, the president He entered the court through the underground car park escorted by the Presidential Security Service, and there were increased police patrols and metal barricades surrounding the court to keep his supporters at a distance. Now, each of the 8 justices on the bench also have individual police protection throughout the trial after violence by protesters at the Seoul Western District Court over the weekend. And as you said, it's unprecedented on many different levels, as he's also the first president to be under arrest while facing an impeachment trial. It's a truly fascinating situation where we're seeing the prosecutor turned president make his case to justices as a pre-trial inmate.
Right, Soo-young. That being said, so what did the president say?
Well, as the session began, the president gave a short introductory remark, telling the justices that throughout his career in public service, he'd always held deep conviction of the country's liberal democratic order, and he asked the judges to review his matter carefully. And he said that during the session, the acting Chief Justice asked him 2 questions: whether the president had given the finance minister a note to prepare a budget for an emergency legislative body, and whether he'd ordered military commanders to drag out lawmakers from the National Assembly. Yoon denied both cases and said that he did not. During the hearing, the president's lawyers outlined various points that they claim substantiate Yoon's martial law decree, which they plan to back with witnesses and evidence. First, they cited the opposition-led National Assembly's abuse of impeachment power against high-ranking officials, its indiscriminate budget cuts for key military, nuclear energy and welfare programs considered essential to the country's future, public livelihoods and safety. They also underscored what was described as hybrid warfare, as a new type of national crisis that poses security, economic and political threats. Examples include the leakage of classified military intelligence and critical technologies to China. Now, the legal team presented images and accounts of suspected electoral fraud in the parliamentary race last year, with Yoon further emphasizing the need to investigate the National Election Commission. The National Assembly's panel, meanwhile, continued to stress that Yoon's process of declaring martial law was illegal. It cited media reports, investigation records, and showed CCTV footage from the National Assembly and the Election Commission to back its arguments that Yoon had planned and caused disruption to the country's constitutional institutions. They further argued that the president's claims of election fraud are dangerous to democracy and should not be raised in the trial, and later criticized Yoon's attendance as they walked out of the hearing.
Right, and Soo-young, despite the criticism, will the president be partaking in future hearings as well?
Well, yes, in principle, according to his lawyers. They said that he would attend every trial hearing if possible. But we're going to have to wait and see about that, as today's attendance as well, it came rather unexpectedly, as the president's lawyers have previously said that the president would attend the trial hearings when it's an appropriate time and when the main arguments for the trial were organized to a certain extent. And he was also not expected to attend every hearing, so it appears that following his arrest, the president perhaps felt compelled to speak out, perhaps by frustration at his detention. In fact, his move appears to assert his position that he will not answer to the Corruption Investigation Office for high-ranking officials who attained his arrest warrant and are now detaining him for questioning. Presumably, their cooperation is needed, though, for Yoon to attend future hearings that fall into his 20 days of detention. But as unprecedented as this situation is, there is no clear procedure for this. For now, there are hearings scheduled every Tuesday and Thursday until February 13th, excluding next week, as it's the Lunar New Year holiday.
All right, Soo-young, thank you for the latest regarding the President's attendance of the third hearing on his impeachment trial at the Constitutional Court on this Tuesday.